Yeah, it's a tough decision, but when you're first and second in general classification, the only thing in the back of his mind is, you know, he can help out, but it's a hard decision to climb off a race like that, especially when you've got first and second on a hill stage like this, and you know he could have been needed, but they're confident within themselves that they can deliver. I think the message will get out to the other teams that, you know, they've lost Adam Yates, which I think would, you know, we heard from Bilbao at the start when they mentioned the first three and Adam Yates, it was a bit of a gulp, but you know, having Sperg at the frontier and then you've got Brandon McNulty and Jay Vine, there's only two of them there, and how far can Mikel Biel go in this stage? So I think the other teams have to be heartened by this, that the fact that
it magnifies their opportunities.
Yeah, no, it means that, you know, it gives them further opportunity because it's one rider doing the work at the front, and then you've got first and second in the general classification. It kind of opens the door a little bit to some opportunist attacks.
I agree. Harold Tejeda is carrying his bandages as well for Astana. He's coming up towards the front as we speak. 9.4 kilometres to go. This is where it starts to get gnarly. As you say, Brian, it's how you attack climbs as to how difficult they are. This is wearing.
It's all going to depend on how far Mikel Biel can go into this 9.3 kilometres there is to the finish. How can he keep this tempo up? Because Brandon McNulty and Jay Vine are not going to do the work. So I think, see how far he can go, then start to put the prodding attacks out to see what happens, see what UAE Team Emirates do.
Starting to skirmish. Oscar Rodriguez just coming up centre of the road. Rodriguez has been called to the front for Ineos Grenadiers. They're thinking of Tobias Foss. Just a quick dip on board here with 9.1 kilometres to go. And you can see there's blood in the water here, and the sharks are circling. Somebody is going to have a big bite out of this, and it may be earlier than perhaps we'd thought. Rubio's had his cake. Others have eaten it, I'm afraid, for him. He's no longer up the road. 9 kilometres to go. And it's rock and roll, Brian. We've got ourselves... I don't mean by any means to be excited by the fact that Adam Yates is out of this race, but I'm excited in terms of the now, such as his greatness and importance within that team, the options that open up for others. So all of a sudden, the game's wide open, and Ineos Grenadiers have got belief, and so have other teams.
They definitely have. UAE Team Emirates have got one ruler rider sitting at the front, the Danish rider. He can go from distance. He's a good, strong rider, as Mikel Biel. But how long has he got left? And to go at that pace, I think the pace he's going at the moment might be putting some of the other riders off from going on the attack. It's just kind of strong enough, but I think they have to do what Rubio does. Try and kind of, if they get rid of Mikel Biel, if they make it hard enough for the group there, and Mikel Biel is finished, then it opens up the last 5 kilometres, and then it starts to get interesting.
It's really thinned down. What have we got? About 40 riders here, possibly 50. Hard to count when they're like a ball of sardines trapped in a harbour here, but 8.5 kilometres from home. If you'd like to spare us your thoughts, by the way, then head off to X or Twitter or, I don't know, Kiss, whatever it's called. It's at Carlton Kirby, CarltonKirby, or at Bry Smithy, that's BRISMITHY. I'm Carlton Kirby, Brian Smith sitting next to me, and on your screens is a fantastic finale in prospect. 8.3 kilometres to go. We weren't expecting it to pick up this kind of pace this early. Race is on, Brian.
It is for the moment, but still being controlled by UAE Team Emirates, but they don't have the numbers maybe they would have wanted, Carlton. They've got one rider at the front, the rest... Jay Vine and Brandon McNulty, the leader and second in the general classification. But just look at the back here from these onboard footage. It's not an easy pace, and that's what's kind of thwarting any attacks for the moment. We've had Rubio try, but I think as we get a little bit further up, because how long, that's the question, how long can Mikel Biel keep this pace up? If it comes down any time, then that's where the sharks will be starting to fire.
Yeah. Well, we've got them and they're waiting. There's some big guys who've actually made it up here as well. Some fast men as well, still very much involved. There's little Louis Mainkies, number 101, just bouncing. This will have not stressed him at all today, but I think he's in for a good finish. The longer it goes on, diesel style, the better it'll be for him. I think he could probably do with, frankly, another hour of climbing to shine brightly. But you just never know. That's Jardy Vanderlei of EF Education Easy Post. Simon Carr, I'm still wondering about, to be honest. There's a few as well that have had some tumbles out there. Did Attila Belter find himself on the deck on stage one? I think he did.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he's there, though, the Hungarian champion. So he's now just behind Manny Buchmann, the German champion for Bora. And it's starting to fracture the drive at the front for UAE Team Emirates. They're looking short of help.
Well, they've got help now by Team Ineos, so Team Ineos are happy to kind of help them out. I probably would have sat back and allowed Mikel Biel to do it. We heard from riders at the start, and they were saying, well, it's up to UAE Team Emirates. They get first three, and they've got Adam Yates. They have to control it. Okay, they've lost Adam Yates now, but they still get first and second and third. Okay, Biel was the rider that's working at the front, but let him do all the work. Let him work as hard as he can, tire him out. And then it opens the door. You've got first and second in the general classification. What have they got? For the moment, Team Ineos, for me, I think, possibly doing the wrong thing and helping out Biel.
Well, it feels that way, but maybe they've got the strength to help themselves. Let's wait and see. I don't know who they're trying to grind down behind. You can see what sounds like a wedding party disco going on. It is the line which is about to welcome us. A bit of a party time. They're going to have to wait some time, though. 7.1 kilometres. It's not the fastest of paces, not the slowest we've had either, though, and I think we'll be finished rather smartish today. Still waiting to see if somebody's going to grasp the nettle. It's going to happen, Brian. You said 3 kilometres from home. A little bit earlier than that now?
Well, there's still no attacks, Carlton.
Yeah,
it's just a constant pace. I would think that when we get into the last 3 kilometres, we could see some attacks. But for the moment, Team Ineos are helping UAE Team Emirates. And I think that helps. Foss might be on a good day, but I think come the end, Brandon McNulty, the way he is riding at the moment, especially when I saw him in the Challenge Mallorca races and looking at him now, he looks nice and easy. He, for me, is still the favourite for this. Now that Adam Yates is gone, he's definitely one of the favourites for this stage. That's why I can't understand why Team Ineos are kind of helping. I would want to leave it all to UAE Team Emirates and let them do. Let Biel do as far as he can do, and then see what happens. Let the attack start, and Jay Vine and Brandon McNulty will have to work. And if they do work, that will kind of dampen their kind of sprint for the final, and potentially the rivals could snaffle those bonus seconds.
The bearded figure of Perry Pantre is just moving on up the left-hand side, and there's a little bit of a change of pace. A few moments ago, I noticed that Leonard van Eetveld, who went well in Mallorca, and we've talked him up today, is actually just starting to move up, his teammates. It's almost like the word had gone round that he's going to have to be on his own. There is Perry Pantre. You can see in that phalanx of blue shoulders here, the decathlon boys. A little bit of water just spread onto, I imagine, a very welcoming cactus. Looking further back down here, and first moves coming, are they, from Soudal Quick Step? And here it is, time to launch. And Jan Hurt says, see ya. This is the man who was marked out by Adam Yates on the Green Mountain in Oman, and there's nobody to stop him this time.
Yeah, everybody will know that Jan Hurt, very good climber, and this is his type of terrain. Yesterday, probably disappointing in the time trial. But this is what I was saying. You have to start riders that are a bit further down in the classification. You have to hurt Mikel Biel. You have to get rid of him. If you get rid of Mikel Biel, then your options are a lot better, because all he's going to do is ride. And unfortunately for Team Ineos, I don't know why, but they are actually helping. I might eat my words when Tobias Foss wins the stage and gains that time, but at the end of the day, this is helping Brandon McNulty here. This is a strong performance here from Mikel Biel, but how long can he keep this going for?
Oscar Rodriguez, who did a little bit of the driving, came to the front to help out. Nobody in pursuit at the moment, but Jan Hirt hasn't fully engaged the afterburners just for the time being. Has a look by. Maybe he has. Maybe the chase is a sterling one, but that looks like it's gently stretching, and sometimes you have to do that. As Mick van Dijk just heads off the back from Team Jumbo-Visma. A few others just struggling a little bit. Jardy van der Leij, he's been at the back for quite some time. There's a few others here that are in trouble. Alessandro Monaco was the choice of Korotek. He's off the back as well. Jan Hirt still holding this. Now, it's a modest gap. Appreciate that. But Jan Hirt can really dig deep. He's had to do it on a number of occasions, and he was disappointed by, of course, Adam Yates just half-wheeling him all the way up the Green Mountain in Oman. Well, he's gone off the front now, not off the road. That's Ruben Fernandez for Cofidis, leaving it to Kenny Elissonde, his teammate only, I think, as part of this pack. Jan Hirt is just being wound in, but, you know, he hadn't hit the front until he did, if you see what I mean. And now you wonder what resources he's still got. He could do this again later on, Brian.
I think keep this going. Look at the difference it's making at the back of this group now. It's a lot of riders being distanced, and it's really hurting Mikel Biel, who's on a super day. You know, he's ridden a lot this climb. He's brought back Rubio. Now he's brought back Jan Hirt. But it needs to keep on, you know, the attacks need to keep on coming because we have 5 kilometres to go. Ideally for the others, get rid of Mikel Biel by constant attacking. How long can he ride like this? We'll have to kind of wait and see, but keep attacking, keep weakening him, and coming into the last few kilometres just with Jay Vine and Brandon McNulty for UAE Team Emirates. But nobody really kind of going over the top. Van Sevenant coming up on the left-hand side, so you have to kind of keep at that, keep the pressure on.
You do. Van Sevenant actually looked like a bad option in Oman on a similar climb to this towards the on the final stage of that great race. 18 kilometers per hour is what we're dealing with. 6% almost constant all the way to the line. It does pick up just a little bit. A few pins have been pulled. Kenny Elissonde doggedly determined to keep going here. That's Pelayo Sanchez, who's just struggling off at the back nearest to us, with Ivan Romeo, who's got a bit of a kicker on him, a classics man. If it does get to a sprint and he happens to be still in the frame, he can actually finish strongly. But at the moment, Jan Hirt has been pegged back. Attila Valter is just dispatching all excess weight at the moment as he digs and fumbles around for a gel. He's in a very good position, is the Hungarian champion, sitting on the back wheel of the race leader after yesterday's time trial, Brandon McNulty. 20 kilometres per hour, just picks up pace a little bit. 4.3 kilometres from home. A few have tried it. There have been dice rolled. No snake eyes just yet. But somebody is going to have this. Not quite sure who.
Not yet, not with the pace of Mikel Biel, because he's doing a fantastic job here. He's just keeping everybody in this peloton behind, and it really needs to be strung out a little bit more racing to try and weaken the stranglehold that UAE Team Emirates have got.
Simon Carr keeping it sensible. He's just off our screen at the moment on the left-hand side. He's just getting the sustenance in where he needs. Big check back, and it's a red phalanx, orangey red of Ineos Grenadiers. I think it was called Phoenix Sunset. It's an old MG car colour from the 1960s and 70s. That was a long time ago. 3.9 kilometres from home then, 4%, so a little bit of easement. But generally speaking, this is a tempo climb, Brian. But what a high tempo we've got.
Yeah, you can see that right from the start, that, you know, powerhouse of the likes of Mikel Biel able to kind of stay here. In the steeper pitches, he would have been gone, but, you know, he's just powering away here, mouth open, showing his teeth, and how long can he keep this up for? Now, Decathlon come to the front. It needs to be constant, because all of a sudden we're 3.7 kilometres to go to the finishing line. I think just keep the pressure on, make it as hard as possible, use your teammates, otherwise it is going to come to a sprint finish at the end.
Ben O'Connor has been driving extremely well, and his team look like they are the best mustered here. I don't say that loosely. They have kept themselves very quiet until the moment of making a statement, and we're getting that now, Brian.
Look at Biel. He's out the saddle. He I don't think he's got a lot more
Agreed.
to give now. You know, you keep this pressure on. Like I was saying, you get rid of him, but you get rid of him sooner. But with 3 kilometres to go, what sort of damage can you do without Biel being there? He's done a terrific job so far for his team, which have been depleted in this climb.
Wherefore art thou, Romeo, off the back. Here is, well, your points. Let's get back to it, shall we? Downstairs and just picking them up. This is a forlorn strand of very tired riders, and some gaps opening up here because there's a pace being set by about the top 15 on the road, and they look good for it. And so, I must say, does Brandon McNulty as the attrition rate continues, Brian?
Yeah, I'm just looking at Michael Biel. We went away and looked at the finish there. I think
George
Michael
Bennett,
Biel has gone now, or drifting back, so his day is done. So it's going to open the door now to attacks inside the last 3 kilometres now.
George Bennett off the back, Harm van Hoek as well, and this to me looks like a concerted effort by Decathlon. Ben O'Connor has got is being teed up for a bit of glory here, Brian, potentially.
Yes, he's sitting in about, what, 5th place at the moment. Still, Brandon McNulty looks good. Attila Valter, the Hungarian champion. Jay Vine up there in 3rd place. Thinned down a little bit more now, but this is what we were hoping for. When that Decathlon rider swings over, what's going to happen? We have to see an attack. Test them out.
Who's going to go for it? Who's coming up and over the top? Decathlon have set the pace to sort of slingshot here. They look the most lively on the bikes at the moment. Rock and roll, I think you might say. But Paris Pantre is bearded form, just bouncing in front of Ben O'Connor. They're waiting to go for it. Can't do it just for the time being. Good effort here by Prudhomme. He set the pace for them. Can they possibly indeed take that launch pad, leave the carrier, and indeed take to the sky? Let's see. 2.5 kilometres to go. Settle yourselves in. Brandon McNulty looking very good.
Yes, and Jay Vine's been forced into it, so they forced the hand of Team UAE Team Emirates. They forced it now that Jay Vine has to ride, so it's less likely that he'll have much left to kind of sprint at the end. But it's Brandon McNulty, it's the leader for the moment. You really need Michael Biel come back to the front. That's what you didn't want.
Yes.
I'm a little bit surprised nobody tried to attack over the top, but it says a lot for, you know, the pace of this climb, Carlton. And I think by the looks of things, and we saw Decathlon, the pace there, it got rid of Biel, but we're getting ever closer to the finish. And I think by the looks of things, there's a lot of riders in this group waiting for the sprint finish now.
They are. Van Eetveld is one of those, and there he is in his aquamarine scarlet and white accents, just the left-hand side of your picture. There's a lot of options here. Simon Carr stayed with it, Brian, as well.
Yes, you can also see that Van Wilder just on the left-hand side. He's in the... He's, I think, one of the main protagonists here for this sprint finish, but Van Eetveld has already shown he's got a good sprint towards the end, but Michael Biel, he's absolutely empty. He's monstered this climb. He's done a great job looking after his teammates. I don't think he's got much left, and, you know, Jay Vine just kind of took it up, but Biel said, I'm not finished yet. I'm going to help you a little bit more. Everybody's sitting back, no attacks. Everybody just sitting, waiting for this sprint final.
It's coming. Van Eetveld has moved a little bit further up as well. They're on the blower likewise. Florence Stork also in the mix here. 1,700 metres to go. Still, we wait to see if Brandon McNulty can start teetering away from everybody. He's got a handsome lead overall against a lot of the riders who are here. So maybe he'll ride that cushion and stay in red without actually winning the stage. Jay Vine now tucked in behind Biel, who looks like he's actually on the rack. And somebody's turning that handle, and it's he upon himself, I think. Attila Valter looks very calm and collected like an assassin.
Yeah, there's a lot of them just sitting back there, but look at the size of the group now. Almost, what, 30 riders? Michael Biel, hats off. What an amazing job he's done for his team today. Can he finish it off? I think Brandon McNulty would be their kind of favoured card. There's a lot sitting back waiting for this sprint final now, and it's going to kind of open up a little bit. If we can remember a few years ago, it was Vingegaard. It went just inside the last kilometre and kind of held it to the finish, but this pace now is kind of knocking back any attacks. Everybody's sitting, waiting. saving their energy for this sprint.
Well, it does ease up, and here we go. Decathlon have looked the freshest of all. They're going for it. This is for O'Connor. Perry Panter are also in the frame here. The pair of them have actually got off the front, and now it's a question that they're asking, and nobody seems to have the answer to. This is a great drive to the line. Perry Panter is absolutely burying himself. That's the Flamme Rouge up ahead, and have they timed this to perfection, Brian?
Yeah, looks good. They did up the pace, got rid of Michael Biel. He came back to the front, leaving it to 100 metres to go, and Ben O'Connor, this is a good kick out, but I think it might be a little bit too early, but let's see.
I don't think so. There is a pickup. It goes to 8%. It's not nice, but O'Connor's gone. He's been released. Perry Panter has a look back. Job done. He's on the blower. It looks like he's going to be ours. I'm sure he is screaming back to base, but can't get there just for the time being. Can anybody tag him? 700 metres to go. It's still early, and he's kicked to 8 and 9%, but he's just going to come over the top here, and in fact, it's going to flatten out at exactly the right time for him. Oh, what a mugging of the field. We said they looked the most controlled, the most relaxed. The chase is on, but I don't think he's going to get tagged. It can happen. 600 metres to go. The 500 marker just coming up. What a finale.
Yeah, as it's Jay Vine that's reacted now, and Van Wilder's in third place at the moment. Nobody can quite close. There's still 500 metres to go, still a long way to go to the finishing line. Can Ben O'Connor hang on?
I think Ben O'Connor can hang on. 300 metres to go. They're still winding it in. Jay Vine just getting his head down, trying to drive into the void here. You can see as well, Brandon McNulty is within that group, but he's in about P10 at the moment. This is 10 bonus seconds going the way of Ben O'Connor by the looks of things, but it's a painful finale. He could still get tagged. Jay Vine's on his case. They're weaving and wafting behind here, but it could be a tapestry of delight for this man. He's going to take this little left-hander. Normally when you're out of sight, it's not the final curve at all, but it's there's the finish line. Here it is, a long winding unwind, I think you might say. A coiled spring he was, timed it to perfection, and he's going to make it home. He's going to have enough time to think about how to celebrate here as well. He comes by the 50. There's the 25. Count it down, count him home. What a fine win that was. Ben O'Connor for Decathlon AG Tour Le Mondial. Timing, that's what it's about. Jay Vine comes home in second place. Oh my goodness, that was Van Eetveld who just threw the bike out the line and looked a bit fed up as well. You had to have a team to do it, and that team today were Decathlon AG Tour Le Mondial. Chapeau to the lot of them.
I thought they waited a little bit too long there, but you know, in the end, 1,200 metres to go, Ben O'Connor hang on to the victory there. I'm just looking at the time gaps there. Very difficult to see it on the line. Well done, Ben O'Connor. He'll move up in the general classification. 10 seconds. He started the day 22 seconds down. 10 seconds. Jay Vine was in second place. He takes 6 seconds. He'll be the new leader of the race, Jay Vine. But I tell you what, Ben O'Connor's got himself closer to the podium. Or maybe on the podium.
I think on. Wow. What a day. That bodes very well for our finale, our final stage in a few days' time at Jabal Hafid. We'll go sprinting and he can gather himself and wait for that. They've got some plans to make, but today's plan came out absolutely to perfection. What about that?
Oh, good final. When I say good final, good last couple of kilometres there. And Van Eetveld it was in third place, but you know, we'd already had an acceleration, but Michael Biel came back to the front again, thwarted everything again. So 1,200 metres to go, and look at, you know, Jan Hurt couldn't go, Ineos couldn't go, and this is a huge acceleration here. And Ben O'Connor thought, oh, it's going to be early, he's going to kind of tie up towards the finish, but he was strong today, you have to admit. Already a victory in Murcia, kept it going all the way to the finish. He was thinking about time as well, general classification, he knew he had the 10 seconds. Jay Vine reacted, but I thought at one moment Jay Vine was kind of looking at it, he didn't really know what to do. Where was Brandon McNulty? He was like, should I go, should I not, should I help Brandon McNulty? In the end he went for himself, grabbed the 6 seconds in second place there, and grabs the race lead. But I still think they remain first and second. But let's see where Ben O'Connor is, because he's done a great job today. Van Eetveld for Lotto Destiny, I think he finished well. He finished in third place to take the 4 seconds. It all erupted in the last 1,200 metres.
That was great. Well, the game of chess that was played all the way up this climb was something to behold. Even when it's quiet, Brian, if you look down the line, you can see who's fresh and their battle plans that are being writ large. And Decathlon AG2R, they had plans. You could see them forming. They also looked fresh. They kept themselves where they needed to. Ben O'Connor takes it. Jay Vine getting the same time as Van Eetbelt. I thought there was a gap there. A few more as well. Max Poole, brilliant work by him. In fourth place, ahead of Van Wilder, Attila Valter, Ricky Tello. Peo Bilbao was in the frame here. Ina Rubio and Simon Carr getting himself home with a top 10. Where is Brandon McNulty? And is there any gaps declared? That says not. But 5 seconds plus the 10 bonus for Ben O'Connor is a statement. Van Eetbelt, good result for him, but no support, Brian.
No, but this has changed the general classification. Of course, we've still got Jabel Hafid to come, and that'll be a really interesting final. But he's got himself, Ben O'Connor, 7 seconds of a difference between himself and, of course, the race leader overall, Brandon McNulty. But the new race leader will be Jay Vine, the Aussie.
Fantastic. Wow.